Well, good morning. Good morning. All members will please come to the floor. What day is it, Representative Dawson? Saturday, day 40. All members will please come to the floor. Well, good morning. The hour of convening having arrived. All members will please come to the floor and take their seats. Mr. Clerk, will you ring the bell, please? All members will please come to the floor, take your seats, because we're going to have the morning roll call. All members, please we got you. All members present will please vote green to signify their presence in the chamber, and Mr. Clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? All right, y'all, we have to get this party started. Come on there, Representative Miller. Don't take your time now. You got a long day. You can't be worn out before you get started. All members voted. All members voted. This so, Mr. Clerk, we'll lock the machines. Doorkeepers, will you please close the doors and keep them closed? Thank you, members. Special day today. The one we've been looking for. No doubt about that. But let's get started with our custom. As we do in this house, we begin our day with scripture reading and prayer by our chaplain, after which we will pledge allegiance to the flag of our country. Our chaplain this morning is no stranger to Chairman Hitchens and myself. He's a young man that's done great work down in our part of the world. Played some football with Coach Irk Russell. That was a good start. But he served tenure in our county, but I guess I won't go any further because I know how long Chairman Hitchens likes to talk. So I want to recognize a gentleman from the 161st House District, Representative Bill Hitchens, to introduce our chaplain. Mr. Chairman.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I always appreciate all the accolades you throw my way. He said something about my suit when I came in today, and I said I left off the bow tie for fear people would think I was an attorney. But I'm proud today to introduce a good friend and somebody that I've known for a pretty good while. And actually, we met through Rotary, and he's this year's president of the Effingham County Rotary Club, and he's done a great job. He's done a great job with his ministry. But he's not originally from our area. He grew up in Riverdale here and played football for Riverdale High School and got recruited by Georgia Southern, went to Georgia Southern. I met a young lady there named Tanya, who he ended up marrying, who was from Effingham County. He's been there. He originally started as an educator, coached football, track, and a couple other sports, I believe. But he decided after several years of coaching that ministry was on his heart, and he went to ministerial school and became a pastor. And we were talking a little while ago, and I think he just about holds a record for being a Methodist. He's been there, I think, 16 years now at the same church. And it's the Goshen United Methodist Church. And they just recently, or September, they're going to celebrate their 275th anniversary, which is a pretty good while. And he started off at Goshen Methodist as a children's director, then as the associate pastor, and he later became the senior pastor in 2011. His wife, Tanya, and he have been blessed with 3 children. Kylie, who's 31, and her husband, Jared. Sarah Lynn, 27, and her husband, Ashton. And 1 son, Brennan, 18, who graduates this year. They're also blessed with 2 grandsons, Chandler, who is 4, and Joshua, who is tomorrow will be 3 weeks old. So he's an avid outdoorsman. He, like a lot of others, attempts to play golf, and he likes to be on the water with his family, and he still likes to go back to Georgia Southern regularly during the fall and cheer on his Georgia Southern Eagles. So it's my great pleasure to introduce our pastor today and my good friend, Reverend Chance Ward.
Well, Speaker Burns, Representative Hitchens, members of the House, distinguished guests, it is indeed an honor to be here with you today, especially on such an important day, a day that hopefully y'all get to go home afterwards. It's indeed a great privilege. I consider it a privilege to be able to share just some thoughts with you, some words today. I hope that will be encouraging and uplifting and just as a reminder of what we're called to do in this life. One of the things that I always do, or I've started doing over the last, I'm not sure, 5, 6, 7 years, is at the beginning of each new year, I pick a word. That word guides me through the year. It helps me reflect, and it helps keep me grounded. And that word for me this year, for 2026, is legacy. And I've been thinking a lot about legacy. Mr. Bill mentioned I have 2 grandsons, and that becomes a little bit more important to me, not just with our children, but with grandchildren. If you have grandchildren, you know what I'm talking about. So legacy is my word, and I just want to focus on that just briefly this morning. So I want to share with you a word from Matthew's gospel. It's actually part of Jesus' Sermon on the Mount, and it comes from chapter 6, and it says this: "Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth where moth and rust consume and where thieves break in and steal, but store up for yourselves treasures in heaven. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." They're challenging words that invite us to think beyond the immediate moment and think further down the road. Consider what truly lasts in life. They remind us that legacy is not about what we accumulate, not what we store away and hold on to, but rather legacy is about an investment. It's about what we give ourselves to and the people who are impacted because of us being here, us pouring into people's lives. Legacy is something we all carry or we all care about, whether we name it or not, or whether we give it a voice, we carry it with us. It's the quiet hope that what we do will some way matter tomorrow. It's a belief that the choices we make, the work that we do, the service that we render will ripple forward into the lives of people we may never meet. Truth be told, legacy is not about headlines. It's about action. It's neighbors helping neighbors. It's leaders making difficult decisions for the common good. It's individuals choosing service like you over self-interest. Like each of you who serve our great state, I too stand here today with you because of that kind of legacy. Decisions shaped communities. They shaped schools, universities, churches, opportunities for me to live into. And because of the faithful leadership of those who came before us, we've been afforded the privilege to answer a call to serve. And it truly is a call to serve. All of this is made possible, one, through God's grace, but also through all of those who came before us and who paved the way. We truly do stand on the shoulders of giants, stand on the shoulders of others who came before us. For me, that calling was, as mentioned, to teach and to coach football for a season of life. It was also to mentor and to pour into the lives of young people. And now, part of that calling is to pastor a church that is filled with an amazing group of people. And I get to share life with them every single day, and it is truly a blessing. But again, all of this, our ability to serve, our calling to serve, is because of God's grace and because of those who came before us. That which we inherit, we're entrusted to carry it forward, not to hold on to it, but to pass it forward. And that's part of a legacy that shapes us and future generations, generations that depend on us to ensure that our treasure and our hearts are aligned to promote kingdom values over self-interest. That's how legacy works. We receive something, then we decide what we do with it. The same is true of faith. I would be remiss if I didn't talk about my faith. And so the same is true of faith. I'm a follower of Jesus because of the myriad of moments where people lived out their faith obediently, many of whom I never met. I know that my faith journey began many, many, many years ago through my great-grandfather, who I only knew briefly. But also my faith journey began in Elberton, Georgia, through a man that I never met who poured into the life of one of my teammates, who then in turn poured into me. See, there's so many moments, there's so many people that are part of my faith journey, that are part of all of our journey. And that's part of the treasure, the legacy that we build. Not a legacy that we hold on to, but a legacy that outlives us so that it impacts people's lives in the future. And because of that legacy, I've been blessed, as noted, with a marriage to the most amazing wife, Tanya, for 33 years. Come December, 34 years. 2 daughters, one an educator, one soon to be dentist to graduate from the dental college in Augusta. We have a son who's 18 who will graduate in May, and by God's grace, he's headed off to Georgia Southern. I have 2 son-in-laws who I actually do like, and I do love. And then, as was mentioned, we have the most amazing grandsons. I mean, they're incredible. Mr. Burns and I were speaking earlier, and we both agreed that we've told our children, if they would have come along first, we'd have never had y'all. But I think about our children, I think about our son-in-laws, and I especially think about Chandler and Joshua, or JD as we'll call him. Those are my treasures. Those are the treasures and the legacy that I want to build, that I want to store up in heaven. That's the legacy that I want to build that will outlive me many, many years from now, so that in their lives they'll be able to pour into someone else and impact their life in a very positive way. This is what Jesus was pointing to when he spoke of treasure. Treasure, or in this case, as we're talking about legacy, is not measured by recognition. It's not recognized by titles or even our accomplishments. It is measured by what and who we value deeply. We value enough to give ourselves to them. By how we invest our time, by our energy and our service for the good of others, like you've done for the past 39 days now, 40 days in session. And that brings us to this moment. For those of you who serve in this chamber, your work carries lasting weight. And I want to say, whether you hear it or not, I personally want to say thank you. Thank you for the work that you do. To serve in the way that you do is sometimes, oftentimes, a thankless job. I'm sure that your phone rings more often to answer complaints than it does to answer, hey, you're doing a good job. And because, and however, each of you is put in a position to work for the betterment of others. That's why you're here. To work for the betterment of others. This is no small task, as you make choices that affect the whole, not a few. The policies you shape, the decisions you make, the conversations that you engage in or have engaged in up to this point will influence families, communities, and futures long after the 2026 session ends. You may never meet all those who are affected by what you do here in this chamber. But they will live in a world impacted by your leadership and the service that you help create. So I offer you this question for reflection. What kind of legacy are we building? What kind of legacy are you building? What kind of legacy am I building? The legacy that we build, and one that outlives us for future generations, I pray it would be marked by integrity in a time that demands trust, by compassion in a time that most certainly often feels divided, and by wisdom that looks beyond the present and considers the future. May we invest not only in what is seen today, but in what will bless generations to come. And as we invest in initiatives or people, may we lead with character, with humility, and may we act with an awareness that our lives can bless generations yet unborn. May the treasure we store up become a legacy not just of progress, but of purpose, not just of achievement, but of faithfulness in our own lives and in the lives of those entrusted to our care. Ultimately, may the treasures we store up have eternal value, rooted in God's grace and love. As part of my legacy, I want more than anything else than for people to know that faith passed on turns into a blessing that becomes an opportunity to be a blessing for future generations with a faith lived well. I want to thank you again for the opportunity and the privilege to share just some thoughts with you about some things that are important to me, and I pray are important to you as well. Amen. If you would, please stand as we pray. Let us pray. Gracious and loving God, we give you thanks for the gift of this day. And we thank you for those who have gone before us and the legacy that they have entrusted to us. God, I pray that you would grant wisdom to these leaders, give them clarity in decision-making and a spirit of humility and service. May their work reflect justice, compassion, and a vision that extends beyond today. Help us all to live in a way that our legacy brings good into the lives of others and outlives us, and most importantly, honors you, O Lord. We ask in the name of Jesus. And everyone said, Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Brother Chance.
Thank you.
Awesome job. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
Doorkeepers, you may open the doors. Members, you may join Brother Chance in the South Annie room, and thank him for his service today. Brother Chance, thank you for that message. It's a great way for us to start our day. We appreciate you being here, and give our regards to Miss Tanya.
I shall.
Members, our doctors of the day are brought to us by Representative Terry Cummins. They're Dr. Janelle Holder, who will be here this morning into the afternoon. And our second doctor will be brought to us by Representative Shay Roberts. Yeah. Representative Shay Roberts has invited Dr. DeRudy, contractor, who will be here this afternoon, later this afternoon until adjournment. Chairman Hilton, the chair of the Committee on Information and Audits, is recognized. Chairman Hilton.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker. Happy Sine Day. May God bless you and the members of this chamber as we make decisions today on 11 million people. And Mr. Speaker, for the final time, your Committee on Information and Audits has read the journal of the previous legislative day, and we have found it to be correct.
Chairman Hilton, the chair of the Committee on Information and Audits, reports that the journal of the previous legislative day has been read and found to be correct. Is any objection to dispense with the reading of the journal? For what purpose does Representative Davis rise?
Mr. Speaker, under the House Bill 31, confirmation of the journal is part of the required order of business, and under the Rule 36, the order of business cannot be changed without unanimous consent or a two-thirds vote. I object to dispensing with the confirmation of the journal.
So the lady's objection is the journal is changing the order of business?
My objection is that the journal is incorrect, number one. I object to the confirmation of the journal, and the journal does not accurately reflect the preceding legislative days regarding House bills and Senate bills. I request that the journal be corrected before confirmation.
I think the chairman has read the journal, staff has read the journal, so I'm not going to recognize your objection. The journal is correct.
Mr. Speaker, you do not need an excuse to insist and to object to the dispensing of confirmation of the journal. So I continue to hold that I need that journal read completely.
Your objection is noted and it is overruled. We're going to confirm the journal. Is there any objection to dispense with reading the journal? Hearing none, the reading of the journal is dispensed with. Is there any objection to the confirmation of the journal? Hearing none, the journal is confirmed. Mr. Clerk will read the resolution establishing the order of business for the day.
Representative Session, the 104th moves following be established the order of business during the first part of the period, unanimous consents. Introduction of bills and resolutions, first reading and reference of House bills and resolutions, second reading of bills and resolutions, reports of standing committees, morning orders.
Is there any objection to adoption of the resolution establishing the order of business for the day? Hearing none, the resolution is adopted. First reading the bills and resolutions. Mr. Clerk will read.
Senate Bill 629 by Senator Anna Vardy. The 31st bill being titled Act to Repeal an Act incorporating the town of Braswell, approved December 13, 1895.
Intergovernmental coordination.
That completes first readers.
Second reading of bills and resolutions. The clerk will read.
House Bill 1606 by Representative Clark of the 100th, Gaines of the 120th, Fleming of the 114th, Horner of the 3rd, Bonner of the 73rd, a bill relating to offenses against public order. House Bill 1607 by Representative Hilton of the 48th, Estration of the 104th, Donasucci of the 105th, Silcox of the 53rd, Barrett of the 24th, and others, a bill relating to banking and finance. House Bill 1608 by Representative Crawford of the 89th, McQueen of the 61st, Barry of the 56th, Ali of the 106th, and Barnes of the 86th, a bill relating to commissions and other agencies of state government. House Resolution 1949 by Representative Gallett of the 19th, a resolution creating the House Study Committee on Gamecock Fighting in Georgia. House Resolution 1950 by Representative Carter of the 93rd, Hughley of the 141st, Park of the 107th, Cannon of the 58th, Gaillard of the 162nd, and others. A resolution recognizing and commending former President Barack Obama on the opening of the Obama Presidential Center. House Resolution 1951 by Representative Tran of the 80th, Drenner of the 85th, Silcox of the 53rd, Roberts of the 52nd, and Crawford of the 89th. A resolution creating the House Study Committee on MARTA governance, financial accountability, and regional transit oversight. Through second readers.
Reports of standing committees, Mr. Clerk will read.
Representative Lee Hawkins, the 27th District Chairman, Committee on Health, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, Committee on Health is that under its consideration, the following bill of the Senate to instruct a committee report same back to the House with the following recommendations. Senate Bill 39 to pass by substitute, respectfully submitted. Representative Lee Hawkins, the 27th District Chairman. Representative Chuck Martin of the 49th District Chairman of the Committee on Higher Education, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, Committee on Higher Education has had under its consideration following bill of the House. It's instructed me to report same back to the House with the following recommendations. House Bill 1300 to pass by committee substitute. Respectfully submitted, Representative Chuck Martin of the 49th District Chairman. Representative John Corbett of the 174th District Chairman on Committee on Motor Vehicles submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, Committee on Motor Vehicles has had under its consideration following bills of the House. Has instructed me to report the same back to the House with the following recommendations. House Bill 239 to pass by substitute. Respectfully submitted, Representative John Corbett of the 174th District Chairman. Representative Clint Crow of the 118th District Chairman of the Committee on Public Safety and Homeland Security submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, Committee on Public Safety and Homeland Security has had under its consideration following bill of the Senate. Has instructed me to report same back to the House with the following recommendations. Senate Bill 454 to pass by substitute. Respectfully submitted, Representative Clint Crow of the 118th District Chairman. That completes the reading of reports of standing committees.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Members, if I can have your attention for a moment before we move on to morning orders, I want to let you know that obviously we all know that this year is our 250th anniversary of our country. So Dale and I wanted to ensure that you had a keepsake. So we commissioned Dale and I commissioned, mainly Dale, commissioned these coins for the members of this house. So something that you can pass on to the next generation. I hope you'll enjoy those and hope you keep them in a safe place and enjoy them. They've turned out very, very well. We had some help putting those together that came with JES Custom Works and down in Tifton, Eric Schwall with GBI helped design the coin, and Greg Wade from DNR, along with a couple of guys from my staff, Alex Kraling and Josh Chanufka. So they did an outstanding job. I think you'll agree with me. It's a beautiful coin that will be a keepsake for years to come. Now, you also have a custom wooden block on your desk as well, so you may certainly utilize it to display your coin. It's made out of good old South Georgia yellow pine, and that's ours. This effort came along with our friends at Georgia Association of Manufacturers and the Georgia Forestry Association, and 45 students from Newton College and Career Academy over in Covington spent 80 hours developing and building these blocks. And we have a couple of them, 3 of them actually here with us, and their instructor. They're wearing the blue and gold right here next to me. They're in FFA and Skills USA in the 11th and 12th grade, 10th and 12th grades, in the agriculture, construction, engineering, math, manufacturing pathways. They ran that sawmill, that wood miser you saw, the bandsaw, the miter saw, the biscuit joiner. Oh, that's pretty cool. They engraved and they stained the blocks. Mr. Pollard is here with them. There was one of their instructors, their teachers, and Mr. Connor and Mr. Moss also, Dr. Pollard to be sure. Now we have, and I want you to help show your appreciation, your thanks to Carlin Curtis. Raise your hand, Carlin. Aubrey Norman and Brady McElroy. Let's thank them and Mr. Pollard, Dr. Pollard, for their help. They're actually in Newton County, represent Chairman Clint Crow's district. And Chairman Fleming's district. Members, we'll move on to morning orders. We have a couple of condolences that we're going to begin with. So I'm going to ask the members to get in a posture that is respectful and quiet.
I've not seen him yet today.
Chairman Corbett. All right, members, I realize the importance of the day. So I'm going to ask all members to please come to your floor, and conversations, important conversations that I see ongoing that are occurring will need to make their way to the anteroom. Doorkeepers, please allow members to move their conversations to the anteroom and then close the doors, because we're going to show our respect to folks in our community, and then we're going to recognize some folks in the gallery. All right, all members, please give your attention to Chairman Corbett. I'm going to ask you to stand with Chairman Corbett, Chairman Meeks, as we show our respect and offer our condolences to some of our guests, and he's going to explain it. Chairman Corbett.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members of the House, I rise this morning to honor the life and memory of Miss Reba Highsmith Cruz. Ms. Cruz dedicated over 50 years of service to Brantley County Tax Commissioner's Office and to the citizens of Brantley County. She lived a life defined by compassion, generosity, integrity, unwavering devotion to her family, friends, community, and most importantly, her Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. She was a source of strength, encouragement, and inspiration to all who had the privilege of knowing her. Her legacy will continue to shine through the countless acts of love she extended, the values she instilled, and the memories she leaves behind. We are honored to have Ms. Cruz's two sons in the gallery, Jamie and Harry, to receive this resolution in her memory. I'm going to ask them to stand this morning. Thank y'all. And members, y'all will bow with me in a moment of silence in Ms. Cruz's honor. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield well, and if y'all want to come down to the ante room, we can take some photos, and I'll present the resolution. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thanks for being here with us. Thanks for the recognition. Got a great mother, sounds like to me. So thanks for her service to our people in your community. Let's do another one of these condolences. Representative Adenia, please give the gentleman in the well your attention, please, and your respect. And friends, Representative Adenia, members will please rise.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to honor the life of a friend, a brother, a father, someone that impacted a lot of lives in Georgia, Bishop Adeyinka Adejube. You look at the picture over there, Bishop was full of life. I remember he brought me to this house in 2014 when I moved to Georgia because he believed in connecting Georgia with the rest of the world. And what's so dynamic about this man, he could get anywhere and anytime and be everywhere. When I look at that picture, I remember my first day I took a picture with my family. He was the only one that insisted that he had to be part of the family. I had my kids up there. He was just like a kid. He was just like my brother. He made sure I was in the picture. That's how he was with everything he did. As an entrepreneur, as a child of God, he was always there for everybody. I'd like to recognize his family who are up in the gallery, his wife, his daughter, his grandson, friends. They're standing in the gallery. And more, and I'd like to take a moment of silence for his memory. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the well. If the family can join me in the anteroom for a picture. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Adenia. Condolences to you all, the family. Thank you for being here today. All right, members, we have a number of morning orders. We're going to have 1 minute to inform us on your morning order and recognize some friends in the gallery. So if you will give the member in the well your attention, please. Representative Barton has recognized. Chairman Stevens, you'll be on deck. Representative Barton's recognized. Ladies and gentlemen, members, guests, if you're down front and you're having conversations, you need to move those conversations so we can give the person in the well our full attention. Gentleman's recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today to recognize Snorville High School, the lady softball team, for winning the 2A state championship. The Lady Phoenix put together an outstanding season. Over the course of the year, they allowed only 44 runs while scoring 255, a reflection of their talent, discipline, and determination. Under the leadership of their coaches and through the hard work and commitment of every player, the Lady Phoenix showed what they can be accomplished through preparation, teamwork, and perseverance. Their success on the field is a credit to not only their athletic ability, but also to their character and unity displayed throughout the season. This state championship is a tremendous accomplishment for Snorville High School and is a proud moment for me and all of Gordon County. So if y'all could please, ladies, y'all can stand up, and if everybody could just give them a round of applause.
Congratulations. Great season. Good to have y'all with us. Chairman Stevens, Representative Wafer Baker, you'll be on deck. Please give the gentleman your... He's going to recognize and speak to a couple of members, so give the gentleman your attention, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. For 29 years, we've never had, as far as I can remember, a time when our delegation, being the dean of the delegation, has lost both members, two members at the same time, and we're doing that this year. So I want to take an opportunity just to remind you of some of the things that Mayor Edna Jackson did with the infrastructure and some of the things you may not realize in Savannah, but especially pulling people together. She was amazing at doing that. And my friend over that sits in front of me for all these years, Carl Gilliard, what he's done to bring awareness to the gang violence that we've got in all of our cities and taking the lead on that, but especially for weeping times. Thank you, Carl. It's a big deal. I hope you'll give these two members that we're losing to our delegation a hand.
They've certainly made their mark. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for recognizing them. Representing Wafer Baker and some friends, ladies recognized. Representing Santos, you're on deck.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. I rise today to recognize a woman whose life's work has strengthened communities across the state of Georgia, Miss Vicki Pilgrim. For more than 40 years, Miss Pilgrim has dedicated her life to promoting health, wellness, and active aging through the Georgia Golden Olympics and her work with the National Senior Games Association. Because of her leadership, thousands of older adults have been given the opportunity to stay active, connected, and engage in ways that truly enrich their lives. And her work is not just about athletics. It's about dignity, purpose, and community. It is about reminding us that there is no age limit on living a full and meaningful life. I had the pleasure of meeting Ms. Pilgrim when I participated in the Georgia Golden Olympics, and I experienced firsthand the spirit, joy, and sense of belonging that she has created. Ms. Pilgrim's legacy is one of service, compassion, and impact, and Georgia is better because of her. The 2026 Georgia Golden Olympics will be hosted in Clayton County, and I'm honored to stand here with my
Lady, we'll
colleagues.
suspend just for a minute. Members, you want to be respected when you're in the well making an important point about something or someone. So please show that same respect to other members, or we could probably take all day just on morning orders, because that's what we're going to do. Give the lady your respect. Lady will continue.
Thank you. The 2026 Georgia Golden Olympics will be hosted in Clayton County, and I'm honored to stand here with my colleagues from the Clayton County delegation. Ms. Pilgrim, will you please stand? And members, will you please recognize this awesome woman? Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the well.
Thank you, Representative Baker. Got a lot of work to do. Been doing a lot of work. We appreciate you being here and sharing with us and all you do for your folks back home. Thank you so much. Representative Santos. Representative Bell, you'll be on deck.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today, I rise to recognize someone that's on the gallery here with us. One of the greatest parts of this work is recognizing people who work hard, often behind the scenes, but whose strength is truly powerful. Khalil Jackson is one of those people. A two-time cancer survivor, a survivor of domestic violence, a mother, a business owner, and the founder of My Sister's Keeper next door. She continues to pour into others with grace and purpose. Her life is a reminder that strength doesn't always have to be loud to make an impact. To the many others walking their own journey, please know that you are seen and valued, and you are appreciated. It is my honor to recognize Khalil Jackson. If you are here, please rise and be recognized. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the well.
Thanks for being here, Ms. Jackson. Appreciate your work. Thank you. Representative Bell, Representative Park Cannon, you're on deck.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Colleagues, today is 404 Day at the Capitol, where we're having our annual Sine block party representing Atlanta and Metro Atlanta's excellence. Today we'll be joined with ATL legends such as Raheem DeDream, Goody Mob, Trillville, YK Nice, Robbie, Carly Red, and so much more. But also today that helps us bring that apart is Danny Nagel. Attorney Nagel Attorney Nagel is here with us today. He helped us put this together, as well as an outstanding Georgian from Clayton County, where he helps this community so much more. So thank you, Attorney Nagel. Thank you all for being here, and happy 404 Day, and happy Sine Die. See you when outside for the block party, baby.
Thank you for being here, sir. We appreciate you and what you're doing in Clayton County. Representative Park Cannon is recognized for a morning order. You got some friends, Representative Cannon? And friends.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today we come to inform the Georgia that the midwives are in the building, if you will stand. These midwives today have been advocating over this legislative session to be able to practice legally in Georgia. As many of you may know, midwifery is still illegal in Georgia, and so they have actually filed a lawsuit this morning in the Fulton County Superior Court to allow for them to directly enter. And so today we honor you and we thank you for standing on the shoulders of so many other midwives who have come before us. Many of us members have been born at home or who have been born by midwives and know that it is important that we continue to stand with you. Thank you for all that you do, as well as for the Center for Reproductive Rights, Black Mamas Matter, and Sister Song for launching this lawsuit. Thank you so much and have a great day.
Thank you for being here with us today. Appreciate your work. Representative Billy Mitchell. Representative Tyler Paul Smith, recognized for a morning order. And Representative Donahue will be on deck. Representative Smith, the gentleman's recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, yours and my alma mater are with us today, the members of the John Marshall Law Journal, Volume 29, and we have with us today up in the gallery Miss Madeline Townsend, Austin Kaufman, David Smith, Buzz DeMundo, Jack Landers, Chloe Strickland Teams, Lee Lundy from Cedartown, Georgia, Jory Papilar, Grace Viger, and Christopher Peters. Ladies and gentlemen of this House, if you would, help me welcome these very hard-working, very, very top-of-the-class members of the John Marshall Law Journal for the 2025-2026 season. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Glad to have y'all with us, and good luck to you. Y'all look like a good group. We appreciate y'all being here. Come back anytime. Representative Emory Donahue is recognized for morning order. Give the gentleman your attention, please. The gentleman's recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to give my farewell speech again.
Somebody cut the mic.
No, I would like to tell everybody, listen, thank you. It's been a great time. Remember, you have friends here you'll have for a lifetime. My wife is here today. Of course, she's up in my office cleaning everything out of 45 years. She had a good report on her cancer. And my grandson is back here with a Georgia tie on, so go Dogs. But I do appreciate it, and just consider everybody here, pray for him today that we have a great day. Thank you.
Well, we know she's always taking care of you, and she'll continue to do just that. Representative Billy Mitchell. Gentleman's recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have some very special guests here. First of all, I'd like to recognize the members of the Voices of Faith Church in Stone Mountain. They're doing some incredible things. Their pastor is here, Bishop Gary Hawkins and First Lady Pam Hawkins. Please stand and welcome Voices of Faith Church on Voices of Faith Church Day. You'll soon get to meet their pastor. And I'd also like to take the next 15 seconds to recognize, born in College Park, Georgia, this renowned Grammy Award-winning singer and songwriter, member of the multi-platinum R&B group Escape, reality TV star and husband to the famed actor and rapper T.I., who we've honored in this... I've been corrected by the women. Let me just say that again. Wife of the famed actor and rapper T.I., who we've honored in this house. Please welcome Tamika Tiny Harris, who's here as well. They will be in the anteroom for pictures following an 11 o'clock lunch in 216. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. I'm glad you were corrected in the nick of time. Thanks for being with us. We appreciate the church folks being here and other recognitions. Thank y'all. We appreciate you. Mrs. Donahue. Elaine, please stand and let us recognize you for all of your years of support for Representative Donahue and certainly for the people in y'all's district and y'all's area. Thanks for coming. You look great, and God blesses us all, and I'm glad he blessed you as well. Thank you. You have hard work ahead of you now. You do. Members, I hope you'll help me recognize a former member of this House. We've missed him. Chairman Jay Collins. Jay, good to have you. Good to see you. Looking great. Chairman Jay Collins. We'll move on to the rules calendar. And we're going to take up some agrees, disagrees. Members, we are going to take up some agrees, disagrees. This is about some rounding, I think, making things work smoothly. Representative Carter Barrett is recognized for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that the House agree to the Senate substitute to House Bill 1112.
Mr. Clerk will read the caption.
House Bill 1112 to be entitled an act to amend Chapter 1 and Title 10 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to selling and other trade practices so as to provide for rounding of total price of the sales, goods, and services when using legal tender.
Representative Barrett is recognized to explain the Senate substitute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, ladies and gentlemen. House Bill 1112 is the penny bill. Y'all have heard about the penny bill so far. As you know, the Treasury decided to quit manufacturing pennies last November. This is a response to help our retailers have some guidance on how to handle those transactions when there are no more pennies out in circulation. It's a simple bill, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Gentleman has a question to your right, Representative Carpenter.
Does the gentleman yield?
Yes, sir.
What was added in the Senate on this bill? Anything?
This bill has gone back to its original form, which follows the National Conference of State Legislators guidance, and it mirrors states around us and what most states are doing.
Okay, thank you so much.
Gentleman has no further questions.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the well.
On the gentleman's motion that the House agree to the Senate substitute to House Bill 1112, just confirming it is a substitute to House Bill 1112. All those in favor will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And Mr. Clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, Mr. Clerk will lock the machine. On the gentleman's motion, the yeas are 163, the nays are 4, and the House has agreed to the Senate substitute to House Bill 1112. Representative Panich is recognized for a motion.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker. I move for the House to agree to the Senate amendment to House Bill 1283.
Mr. Clerk will read the caption.
House Bill 1283 to be entitled an act to amend Chapter 13 of Title 19 and Chapter 16 of Title 17 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to family violence and discovery, respectively, so as to authorize the creation of family justice centers.
Representative Panich is recognized to explain the Senate amendment to House Bill 1283.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Okay, this body passed an amazing bill to bring forward how we treat survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault. The Senate added a fantastic amendment which was authored by Representative Lupton. It would require that rape kits be kept for 10 years so that testing can continue to be done and that the actual evidence is preserved. Now, there is another amendment on your desk, Amendment 460126. It was a clerical error. Instead of being meant for this bill on 1283, it is meant for 1238. So that amendment has nothing to do with this bill. The amendment we want to accept is HB 1283/S I urge and agree on this bill, and I ask for a unanimous agree on this bill. And Mr. Speaker, I will yield for any questions.
The lady has no questions. She's evidently done a very good job of explaining the amendments to the bill. So the lady has no questions.
Your Honor, Your Honor, Mr. Speaker, I yield the will.
Just a reminder, here's an important bill. On the lady's motion that the House agree to the Senate amendment to House Bill 1283, all those in favor will vote yes. Those opposed will vote no. And Mr. Clerk will unlock the machines. Thank Chairman Hitchens, you're a yes, but your machine is a malfunction. Well, that helps. Yes, sir, this technology's tough, but I understand. I've been there myself. Have all members now voted? Have all members voted? If so, and you called it, it's all green. All members voted. On the lady's motion, the yeas are 170, their nays are 0, and the House has agreed to the Senate amendment to House Bill 1283. Now let's do this. This is a joint effort. We always will like to work together in this House. This is actually Representative Karen Lupton's first bill that she was a critical part of. So let's also congratulate her and Representative Panich on great work. Thank you. The process does work sometimes. Chairman Hilton is recognized for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I make a motion that we agree to the Senate substitute for House Bill 506.
Mr. Clerk, will please read the caption.
House Bill 506 will be titled an act to amend Article 7, Chapter 4, Title 49 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to medical assistance generally, so as to provide Medicaid coverage for tobacco cessation treatments.
Chairman Hilton is recognized to explain the Senate substitute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The original House bill dealt with smoking cessation. That bill, the underlying bill, has been totally taken out, and EMS surprise billing language has been put in. That language, that same language you have in front of you, has already passed this House twice already, most recently with a vote 167 to 0. So with that, I'll pause for any questions.
Gentleman, yield for a question.
Yes, sir.
Representative Park Cannon to your left is recognized for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Do you yield?
Yes, ma'am.
So therefore, we don't yet have any of the tobacco cessation language passed or eligible for consideration today?
That is correct.
Thank you.
Thank you. With that, Mr. Speaker, I will yield the well.
Gentleman had no further questions. He's yielded the well. On the gentleman's motion that the House agree to the Senate substitute to House Bill 506, all those in favor will vote yes. Those opposed will vote no. And Mr. Clerk will unlock the machine. No thanks. Have all members voted? All members voted. If so, Mr. Clerk will lock the machine. On the gentleman's motion, the yeas are 168, the nays are 2, and the House has agreed to the Senate substitute to House Bill 506. Chairman Gullett is recognized for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that this House agree to the Senate substitute for House Bill 256.
Mr. Clerk will read the caption, please.
House Bill 256 to be titled an Act to amend Chapter 5 of Title 49 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to programs and protection for children, so as revised provisions relating to the Foster Parents Bill of Rights.
Representative Gullett is recognized to explain the Senate substitute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. If you remember correctly, House Bill 256 was the Foster Parent Bill of Rights passed unanimously in this House. It is vitally important for us keeping foster parents in the system and protecting and keeping our kids today. The Senate added a friendly provision that juvenile court proceedings are fully recorded and ensures that parties can access those recordings. That's all this does. Ask for your favorable consideration.
The gentleman has no questions.
Thank you so much. You'll do well.
Gentleman's yielded the well. On the gentleman's motion that the House agree to the Senate substitute to House Bill 256, all those in favor will vote yes. Those opposed will vote no. And Mr. Clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? All members voted. If so, Mr. Clerk will lock the machine. On the gentleman's motion, the yeas are 171, the nays are 0. And the House has agreed to the Senate substitute for House Bill 256. You're not going to do a rules meeting, are you? Good. I'll recognize you then. Just wanted to check, see what you wanted to do. Chairman Parrish is recognized for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, I'd like to move that the House agree to the Senate substitute to House Bill 1215.
Mr. Clerk will read the caption.
House Bill 1215 to be titled an act to amend Code Section 1562 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to the number of judges of superior courts so as to provide for a third judge of the superior courts for the Middle Judicial Circuit.
Representative Butch Parrish is recognized to explain the Senate substitute to House Bill 1215.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, in my original bill, 1215, dealt only with the Middle Judicial Circuit by adding one judge. The Senate, in their substitute, added also the Clayton Judicial Circuit and the Atlanta Judicial Circuit. That's the only difference. Adds those other two judgeships. I'd ask for your favorable consideration.
Gentleman has a question. Representative Jasmine Clark to your left.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does the gentleman yield?
Yes, ma'am.
Was the Gwinnett Judicial Circuit not also added to this bill?
No, ma'am.
Does the gentleman further yield?
Yes, ma'am.
I do think, yes,
Yeah.
in Part 3 of the bill,
Yeah.
the Gwinnett Judicial,
Yeah,
I just wanted to
yeah.
clarify on the record that the Gwinnett
Right.
Judicial Circuit
Yes, ma'am.
is in
It's
the bill.
in there on that part. I'm sorry. I misunderstood what you said.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Gentleman has another question from someone from Gwinnett. They want to make sure they're in it.
Yes,
Leader
sir.
Estration is recognized for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Chairman, is it not true there may be some confusion around the committee process? As the bill came out of the Senate committee, it included the Middle Circuit, Northeastern Circuit, and the Gwinnett Circuit, but then there was a Senate floor amendment which added in those two additional circuits you were just talking about. So to the gentlelady's question, all 5 of those circuits are included in the bill. With respect to the Middle, Atlanta, and Clayton Circuit, the language included by the Senate on the floor is subject to appropriation. Is that correct, sir?
That's correct. Thank you for
Thank you,
clarifying
Chairman.
that. Thank you.
The gentleman's yielded the well. Had no further questions. On the gentleman's motion that the House agree to the Senate substitute to House Bill 1215, all those in favor will vote yes. Those opposed will vote no. And Mr. Clerk will unlock the machine. All members voted. All members voted. If so, Mr. Clerk will lock the machine. On the gentleman's motion that the House agree to the Senate substitute to House Bill 1215, the yeas are 172, the nays are 0. This bill having seen. Well, and this House has agreed to the Senate substitute to House Bill 1215. Representative Chuck Martin is recognized for a motion.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the House agree to the Senate substitute to House Bill 445 as amended by the House.
Mr. Clerk, I think you are going to read 440290. Would that be correct? Mr. Clerk will read the caption, please.
House Bill 445 to be entitled an act to amend Chapter 5 of Title 48 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to ad valorem taxation of property so as to revise the language required to be included in the notices of current assessment.
Chairman Martin is recognized to explain the Senate substitute and the House amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First, let me say to the House, House Bill 445 comes back with Section 2. That's the original language that this House passed last year. What the Senate added was a Section 1 to help the Revenue Department in their ability to assess water systems, specific water systems, and that is what the Senate substitute did on lines 15 and 16. What our House amendment does is correct the language to be more specific as required by the Revenue Department, private water systems and sewage systems with at least 10,000 connections. So we're just correcting the Senate language to accomplish the task that the Revenue Department needs so they could centrally assess these. That's good for the taxpayer and good for the state. Answer any questions.
The gentleman has no questions.
I yield the well and ask for a favorable consideration.
Gentleman's yielded the well. Is there any objection to the adoption of the House amendment? Hearing none, the House amendment is adopted. On the gentleman's motion that the House agree to the Senate substitute to House Bill 445 as amended by the House, all those in favor will vote yes. Those opposed will vote no, and Mr. Clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? All members voted. If so, Mr. Clerk will lock the machine. On the gentleman's motion, the House has agreed to the Senate substitutes as amended by the House of House Bill 445. Members, we're going to get on the rules calendar, the debate calendar. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption? I think you will. You want to get this job done too. Mr. Clerk, read the caption of Senate Bill 76.
Senate Bill 76 by Senator Eccles, the 49th and others to be entitled an act to amend Code Section 4286 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to license plates, promoting or supporting certain agencies, funds, or nonprofit corporations. This bill I refer to the Committee on Motor Vehicles. That committee recommends that this bill do pass by Rules Committee substitute.
Representative McCullum is recognized to present the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Colleagues, today I have SB 76. It's a tag bill. We added some people that was excluded from veterans that couldn't qualify for a tag: Navy Cross Medal, Marine Corps Medal, Airman Medal, Coast Guard Medal, and Combat Infantry Badge. So we added those so they will be eligible to receive a tag for veterans. Then also the bill has a license, the sticker bill is what I call it. We already passed it out of the House. It essentially is doing away with the sticker on the tag. When I first started the bill, it was a $5 million savings to the state, but now it's a $7 million savings to the state because we passed a five-year tag bill. The third addition in the bill is we passed side-by-sides for UTVs to be able to drive on county roads. We're just adding it so they can ride on a state road for short distances, as long as it's under 60 miles an hour. They still have to have tag, title, lights, blinkers, all that, which is already in the law. We're just adding it so they can travel on state roads. That's pretty much the bill. I stand for questions, Mr. Speaker.
The gentleman has no questions.
I yield the well.
The gentleman yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? Hearing none, the previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to withdrawing the committee substitute? Hearing none, the committee substitute is withdrawn. Is there any objection to adopting the substitute offered by the Committee on Rules? Hearing none, the Rules Committee substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? Hearing none, the report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And Mr. Clerk will unlock the machine. After lunch. Have all members voted? Representative Bell, I'm going to apologize to you. I'd covered the sheet up, and I'm going to recognize the gentleman for a parliamentary inquiry if you need a couple of them. There he is. My apologies. That was unintentional. I laid something on top of the sheet. So I'm going to recognize you for a parliamentary inquiry, and whatever you need to say, we'll take care of it right here.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Isn't it true that this is a good bill?
I agree with the gentleman.
It's also true that this bill does a lot for veterans, but we can do a lot more for veterans in this state of Georgia, where we have veterans that serve this country far and abroad, that we still need to help our veterans. While we can walk and see veterans across the street at the Presbyterian Church that have served this country as members in this legislature, we can do better to serve them. Isn't that true, Mr. Speaker?
I know the gentleman feels very deeply about what he just stated, and I appreciate his statement. I apologize to you again for not recognizing you.
Thank you for your leadership, sir.
It was certainly unintentional. That completes. Have all members voted? All members voted. If so, Mr. Clerk will lock the machine. On the passage of Senate Bill 76, the yeas are 168, the nays are 2. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Move back to some further actions. Mr. Clerk, I'm going to recognize first, before I ask you to do that, recognize Chairman Green for a motion. Chairman Gerald Green is recognized for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that the House agree to the Senate substitute to House Bill 659.
Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption?
House Bill 659, to be entitled an act to amend Chapter 34, Title 31 of the Official Code of Georgia, annotated relating to medical professionals for rural assistance, so as to expand medical education funding and the service cancelable loan program to include optometrists.
The gentleman is recognized to explain the Senate amendment to House Bill 659.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. When 659 left the House here, which was voted unanimously here, that it would help us in the rural areas to work with the bringing loan forgiveness to the optometrists, which we added to the list. The amendment that the Senate placed there adds GLP-1 meds to the list of medications that can be administered by certified medication assistants in skilled nursing facilities. GLP-1s are used for diabetics and obesity there. Mr. Speaker, if there's no questions, I will encourage the body to vote for the Senate amendment to House Bill 659.
Gentleman's wish is granted. He has no questions. On the gentleman's motion that the House agree to the Senate amendment to House Bill 659, all those in favor will vote yes. Those opposed will vote no. And Mr. Clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Take your time. I got you. Have all members now voted? If so, Mr. Clerk will lock the machines. On the gentleman's motion, the yeas are 164, the nays are 8, and the House has agreed to the Senate amendment to House Bill 659. Representative Anderson is recognized for a motion.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the House agree to the Senate substitute to House Bill 297 as amended by the House, and that Chairman Jaspers be recognized to present the bill.
Mr. Clerk will read the caption.
House Bill 297 by Representative Anderson of the 10th to be entitled an Act to amend Code Section 40.1.1 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to definitions relative to motor vehicles and traffic, so as to revise the definition of multi-purpose off-highway vehicle.
Chairman Jasper is recognized to explain the Senate substitute as amended by the House.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, I present to you the Senate substitute to House Bill 297. This is the work of Senator Adam Authority and Leader Estration, who've been working on this issue for a number of years. It finally came to fruition in last week's Senate Transportation Committee meeting. What this 45-page bill does is consolidate 2 state agencies into a single one that will be more effective. I know that's kind of hard to believe, but we're actually making government smaller. It consolidates GRETA, which is the Georgia Regional Transit Authority, and the ATL, which is the Atlanta Transit Link Authority. Under current law, these authorities hold sweeping powers that can override local land use and zoning decisions. They have powers to withhold state funding from local governments, powers of eminent domain, and even the ability to issue billions of dollars of state-backed bonds with limited oversight. When these were created, it was thought these powers were needed by a state agency. We know now through study and experience that they are not needed, and eliminating some of these powers will make it a more effective agency. From my reading and the understanding of the proposal, it will take the best parts of both GRETA and the ATL and will eliminate thousands of words of code that is not needed. And doing something like this is hard, members, because in my hands I hold 45 pages that will be eliminated from the code. And doing that is very difficult. And I really have to thank Josh Waller with GDOT and Jenna Doldy from Legislative Council for work on this measure. There are lots of moving parts, and we needed their expertise to make sure that we're staying true to our mission. So what does the bill do? It eliminates unnecessary and dormant powers like the ability to impose air quality regulations, overrides local decisions, or like we said earlier, withhold funding from the communities, and it returns those responsibilities to the appropriate agencies or local governments where they belong. It ensures continued oversight of the Atlanta Regional Commission on transportation spending by bringing transparency and accountability of the dollars of infrastructure investment. It preserves the development of regional impact project process so projects can move forward with predictable guidance and guidelines while still being accounted for. Maintains existing transit services, including the express buses, while adding new accountability and measures like requiring annual reporting on safety performance and customer satisfaction. And I think very importantly, this legislation restores the proper balance between state and local control. Transit planning decisions are returned to local governments, back to the communities that know their needs the best. Any new transit expansion that carries a long-term tax consequence will need voter approval. For communities outside the Metro Atlanta, the bill creates an option, not a mandate, to participate with Georgia T to access federal transit resources more efficiently while requiring local buy-in and voter approval. We had to make sure the board makeup structure was in compliance with federal law. Next year, the Metro Atlanta area is supposed to receive $750 million of federal highway administration funds and almost $200 million when the Federal Transit Administration for Transit, In order to use those $1 billion, the projects will have to be included in the ARC short-range plan and approved by the governor. For the past 23 years, the Greta Board has had 15 governor appointees with no representation by you, the General Assembly. This bill will give us input by giving the governor 8 appointments, 5 who must live within the Atlanta area, called the containment zone, or Metro Atlanta, and 2 from the House and 2 from the Senate, and the Commissioner of Transportation. So in summary, we're trying to do 3 things. 1, to eliminate unneeded and overlapping agency work. Number 2, return transit to local control. And number 3, streamlining government by taking these 2 and creating 1. And I'd miss to say the new one we call the Georgia Transportation Efficiency Agency. Mr. Speaker, that is the Senate substitute to House Bill 927. Also on your desk, you'll see an amendment by Representative Chairman Silcox that will extend the MARTA tax levy till 2067. Mr. Speaker, that's the bill. I'll do my best to try to answer any questions that members may have.
Gentleman has some questions. Representative Drenner, I think you don't have a question? You wave? Thank you. Whip Park is recognized for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does the gentleman yield?
Absolutely.
Chairman Jaspers, has this language from the Senate substitute been vetted through a House committee?
We met yesterday, sir.
Okay.
For a good long, probably an hour and a half, going over the bill with Senator Avatardi.
Was there an opportunity for public comment from those local authorities and governments who currently have
Absolutely. We had a sign-in sheet at the table and no one used it.
Does the gentleman further yield?
Yes, sir.
So you stated that this would be returning control to local authorities. My understanding is that local authorities currently appoint to the ATL Transit Authority. Is that correct?
That's true.
And this bill would give the governor 5 appointments, you said?
8.
8 appointments.
5 coming from what we call the metro area.
So 8 out of the 10 would be appointed by a single individual as opposed to local governments appointing to the ATL Transit Authority. Is that correct?
At current level, Greta is totally appointed by the governor.
Okay. Does the gentleman yield for a final question?
Sure.
Is it not true that Georgia, the state of Georgia, is one of the few states in the country that does not provide state appropriations to transit-related projects?
I think we do provide for transit. I mean, the ride share fee that's on there is then sent back to cities and counties that have transit programs.
A final question, if I may, Mr. Chairman.
Sure.
So certainly we have elections at the end of this year in which we may not know who the governor may be, given that Governor Kemp's term is coming to an end. Are we as a body comfortable with this sort of massive change when we'll see movement with respect to who may be in the governor's mansion come next year?
I could think you could say that, Mr. Whip, of any bill that we're doing right now, and I I think it's irrelevant to what we're doing here. I think, like I said, the three things we're doing will make government more efficient. And I think that's one thing that we can all look at and put our arms around and trying to go home and talk to our constituents about that'll be positive for both sides, and also in making MARTA stronger with the extension of their tax.
One more question, if I may.
Sure.
So with respect to the impetus for this bill, what is the failure of the ATL Transit Authority or the problem that was created that this bill is now trying to resolve?
I think they started looking at this a couple of years ago. And I remember when I first became the chairman of transportation, I got a booklet that thick of projects that people just put in irrespective of what anybody else is doing from the ATL. Most of those are not acted on, and it seemed to me and others that it was a very ineffective organization in doing what it was doing. So therefore, we'd send it back to the counties, just like it was done before, working with the ARC to oversee it in the region.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Representative Scott, to your right, is recognized for a question.
Does the gentleman yield?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what safeguards ensure underserved communities are not deprioritized in this funding decision? Do you have any safeguards? Is there any?
So your question is what safeguards? Say it again. I didn't quite
What
get it.
safeguards ensure that underserved communities are not deprioritized in funding decisions?
Oh, ma'am, I think, you have a county commission, a city government that'll be involved in the transit decisions in your community. I think that's where it's closest to the government. Those people that you're trying to talk about, they're the nearest to them, even away from us, even away from a large board that's out there, which ATL was.
That's for the year.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what is the total financial liability being transferred to the state and indirectly to the local governments?
There's none.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Representative Davis is recognized for a question to your right.
Does the gentleman yield?
Yeah. Of course, yes, ma'am.
As stated before, of course, the devil is in the details. You stated that no liabilities will be transferred. Is that what you stated?
No, I said, will there be any, I think excess, any liability that Greta and the ATL has now will be into Georgia T. That's employees. That's all the different things that do it. Generally, most of these, the money that comes through these are pass-throughs of federal transit dollars back to locals for the grants, and then some of them are paid per population. Some of that money goes there.
Does the gentleman further yield?
Sure. Yes, ma'am.
For the Greta and some of the other agencies, are you saying that they have not engaged in bonds and other liabilities with federal funding? What will happen?
Well, let me answer. Let's stop.
li-
Let's answer that first part of your question,
Okay.
then you can go on. No, Greta does not have a taxing ability. To have a bond or to sell that bond, you have to have an ability to pay it back. Greta doesn't have that. They don't utilize it. They do have it, but they do not utilize that.
With what you're creating, there are liabilities and debt. Where does the liability and debt go?
Yeah, all transfers, if there's any liabilities like an employee, but I don't think there's any debt that I know of, ma'am. We asked this yesterday and we did not see any.
Devil's in the details. Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Speaker.
You got one more question up to your right. Chairman LaHood, way to your right, is recognized for a question.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, does the gentleman yield?
Yes, sir, Chairman.
Thank you. Thank you for the bill. And is it not true that the transit program under GDOT is funded by about $122 million total, and $56.7 million of that is the state's portion?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Speaker, I appreciate the opportunity to present this bill. I think it'll make government smaller. I hope y'all can vote for it, and I appreciate your consideration of my measure. I yield the well.
The gentleman has yielded the well. Is there any objection to adoption of the House amendment? Hearing none, the House amendment is adopted. On the gentleman's motion that the House agree to the Senate substitute to House Bill 297 as amended by the House. All those in favor will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And Mr. Clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? For what purpose does Representative Rahman rise?
Parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
Is it not true that it is unclear who is even asking for this change? And could something like this not make it harder to address the increasing traffic in our area?
Well, I'm very hopeful and confident that this proposition will probably help with that by providing more transit. Let's see. How about Representative Wade? For what purpose does he rise?
Parliamentary inquiry, Mr. Speaker.
State your inquiry.
Is it not true? I respect how every member in this body wants to vote on this, but I do want to point out something that brings concern. This bill gives an opportunity for a penny tax for a very specific, probably well-intended use. However, we had many that took a chance for property tax relief by a penny for local communities to fund school systems, and I'm having a real hard time feeling comfortable that we have a 5-year clock for sales tax for schools, and this would extend out a penny for non-human needs, basically a moving vehicle and not our children, and I am extremely frustrated. I'll be 91 years old when that penny expires under this legislation. Is that not true?
I'm sure the gentleman believes what he says. I'm going to recognize one more, and that's Chairlady Silcox for a motion. Excuse me, for a parliamentary inquiry.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Isn't it also true that MARTA has to bid their bonds for 30 years because they are the recipient of federal funds? They do receive those funds currently from the ATL, but just like a lot of GDOT contracts, the banks and people that back their bonds require that commitment to continue for them to be able to deliver service. If we do not renew this and we do not give penny tax, and this penny tax is only for the MARTA jurisdictions, it's for Fulton, DeKalb, and Clayton counties. This is not a new tax, it's a renewal of existing tax to be able to continue to deliver MARTA service. Without this, MARTA will be out of business in 2 years. MARTA does
I think I can agree with that parliamentary inquiry. I'm sure the lady knows of what she speaks. Have all members now voted? All members voted. If so, Mr. Clerk will lock the machine. On the gentleman's motion, the yeas are 131, the nays are 40, and the House has agreed to the Senate substitute as amended by the House to House Bill 297. Back on the rules calendar, Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption of Senate Bill 556?
The Senate Bill 556 by Senator Payne to the 54th and others to be entitled an act to amend Code Section 22-157 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to uniform reporting system for certain purposes, dual credit courses, and academic eligibility requirements to receive the Hope Scholarship. This bill having referred to the Committee on Higher Education. That committee recommends that this bill do pass by Rules Committee substitute.
Chairman Chuck Martin is recognized to present Senate Bill 556.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you a bill today that is a combination of a number of bills that have come out of the Higher Education Committee this year and one that came out of retirement. All of these bills have passed committee. Many of them have passed the House floor. So the thing I'm going to do is direct your attention to Part 2 of the bill, which is new to us on the floor but passed unanimously out of higher ed. Part 2 of the bill would allow advanced students in high school that take advanced fine art to have those courses count in their core Hope GPA. Part 6 of the bill is the original House Bill 1113, which is a department bill for TCSG to clarify the insurance requirements for part-time employees that are students. Parts 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, this body has seen before. And I want to draw your attention, ladies and gentlemen, Part 1 of this bill is the Dream Scholarship. It is the needs-based scholarship. So this bill consists of information that this body has passed before that will include the Dreams Scholarship. With that, Mr. Speaker, I'll answer questions, but this bill passed out of higher ed in its form yesterday as a House bill, and we then subbed it in the exact same language for the rule substitute. If there are no questions, I would yield the
Gentleman has several questions. The first one's to your left. Chairman Hilton is recognized for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does the gentleman yield?
I do.
Is it not true? I have a student in college who is studying music education, and he took in high school AP Music Theory, which would be covered under this bill, and is one of the harder AP classes that you can take compared to some of the other courses.
I am not musically inclined, Chairman Hilton, but I take your word on that being a rigorous course, and that will be counted in the HOPE course going forward for all people that graduate after this year.
Fantastic. Thank you. Great bill.
Representative Glaze to your left is recognized for a question.
Yes.
Does the gentleman yield?
I do.
Is it not true that in our committee we have vetted all these bills, and we feel like this is the best opportunity to move forward with higher ed, particularly in the Dream Scholarship?
Yes, ma'am, I would concur with that. I would just point out the one bill in Part 6 was passed out of retirement, but we also vetted that yesterday in higher ed, so it's been doubly vetted. These bills are put together because it's day 40, and we don't want to get some of these initiative lost in our final days. Yes, ma'am. These are all things that have been agreed on by the House. Many have passed this House floor before. I thank the lady for a question.
Representative Lisa Campbell, she's ready for a question. The lady's recognized for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does the gentleman yield?
I do.
Does this bill also include in Part 2, Section 2, inclusion of dual credit course hours for advanced fine arts, giving greater pathways for students who are studying in the arts?
Yes, ma'am. Part 2 is the part that Chairman Hilton inquired about. This defines advanced fine arts, and it gives them core credit for that in the core GPA. As far as additional credit for rigor, that will be as is with all the other courses determined by student finance in cooperation with the Department of Education. But it puts them on par for that. Yes, ma'am.
And does the gentleman further yield?
I do.
Is it not true that I support this wholeheartedly and am so pleased that the content from our House Bill 1417 is included and mapping to this section Part 2 for our fine arts students?
Representative Barrett of the center aisle to your left, and you have one more after this one.
Does the gentleman yield?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Is this not truly a truly historic moment in Georgia history that we ought to take a moment and reflect over, as it will change lives decades and after we are all gone from this earth?
I think that is the hope. To the Vice Chairman of the Higher Ed Committee, I think that is the hope. If we can get the Senate to move forward on this collection of good ideas, we look forward to that.
Gentleman has one final question. Representative Park Cannon to your left. Recognized for a question.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you, Mr. Speaker. Do you yield?
I do.
So does this bill include need-based aid?
It does. Yes, ma'am. Part 1 is the Dream Scholarship as passed this body in House Bill 1413.
And then do you further yield?
I do.
And what does this bill do for incoming students for the HOPE Scholarship?
The bill is silent for incoming students for the HOPE Scholarship, except for the Part 2 that the representative and chairman had asked earlier. It will include advanced fine arts courses will be included in the GPA for calculation of the HOPE Scholarship. So it will give credit to the students that take those. In the past, those have not been core courses and were not counted at all in the HOPE Scholarship.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
The gentleman has no further questions.
I yield the will and ask the House's favorable consideration on Senate Bill 556. I'm sorry, yes, 556.
You are correct. The gentleman has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? Hearing none, the previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to withdrawing the committee substitute? Hearing none, the committee substitute is withdrawn. Is there any objection to adopting the substitute offered by the Committee on Rules? Hearing none, the Rules Committee substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? Hearing none, the report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And Mr. Clerk will unlock the machine. Have all members voted? All members voted. All members voted. If so, Mr. Clerk will lock the machine. On the passage of Senate Bill 556, the yeas are 167, nays are 2. This bill has received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Members, we're going to break in just a few minutes for lunch, but first I'm going to ask the clerk to read the caption to a group of privileged resolutions. Mr. Clerk.
Honoring the life and memory of Brenda Sue Pike Oglesby. Honoring the life and memory of former Representative Eugene Milton Buddy Childers. Honoring the life and memory of Barbara Anna Barker. Honoring the life and memory of William Edward Ed Davis. Recognizing and commending Mr. Tim Thomas. Recognizing and commending Reverend Dr. William E. Thomas, Jr. Recognizing and commending New Bethel AME Church on the occasion of its 37th anniversary. Recognizing and commending the 2026 Heart of the Community Award of Honor recipient Sarah Huffman. Commending Alexandra Dilbeck, Chattooga County High School's 2026 Star Student. Commending Brian Proctor, Modell High School's 2026 Star Student. Commending Kelly Golden, Modell High School's 2026 Star Teacher. Commending Tyler Bradley, Coosa High School's 2026 Star Teacher. Commending Hari Akari, Coosa High School's 2026 Star Student. Commending Kim Owens, Coosa High School's 2026 Star Teacher. Commending Handon Cosper, Coosa High School's 2026 Star Teacher. Recognizing and commending the 2026 Heart of the Community Award of Honor recipient Tracy Tillery. Recognizing and commending. Recognizing and commending the 2026 Heart of the Community Young Heart Award recipient Leah Mayo. Commending Josh Smith, Tryon High School's 2026 Star Teacher. Commending Will Groshi, Tryon High School's 2026 Star Student. Commending Julie Lane, Chattooga High School's 2026 Star Teacher. Recognizing and commending the 2026 Heart of the Community Award of Honor recipient Guy Wilson. Recognizing and commending the 2026 Heart of the Community Board of Governors Award recipients Rick and Sunday Stevenson. Recognizing and commending the 2026 Heart of the Community Award of Honor recipient Gail Veal. Recognizing and commending the 2026 Heart of the Community Award of Honor recipient Jeff Arp. Commending the Northwest Georgia Regional Commission upon its 65th anniversary. Recognizing and commending Clifton Baptist Church. Recognizing and commending Jacob Jake Hutchings. Recognizing and commending the transformative impact of blockchain technology. Recognizing and commending the Rowan Foundation. Commending Recognizing and commending Vicki Pilgrim for her outstanding service and contributions to Georgia Golden Olympics and the National Seniors Game Association. Recognizing and commemorating the 130th anniversary of the incorporation of the City of College Park, recognizing and commending Central United Methodist Church on the occasion of its 160th anniversary, honoring and recognizing the Atlanta John Marshall's Law School Law Journal, recognizing and commending Dorothy Glisson, commending Tracy Naylor Griffin, recognizing and commending Mrs. Nathalie Huffman Griffin, commending the remarkable career and lifelong dedication of Amy Morton, recognizing and commending Carolyn H. Rambert, commending Reverend Gilbert Hall, commending Vernon Lee, commending Maha Ahmed, recognizing and commending the Center for Employment Opportunities Atlanta, and recognizing and commending the Donatucci family for their unwavering support, dedication, sacrifice, and devotion to public service, and for other purposes. That completes the reading of the privileged resolutions.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Is there any objection to adopting the privileged resolutions? Hearing none, the resolutions are adopted. Leader Estration is recognized for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that Senate Bill 475 be withdrawn from the Rules calendar and recommitted to the Rules Committee.
Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption?
Senate Bill 475 by Senator Kemp, the 38th, be titled an act to amend Code Section 2068.1 relating to charter school funding.
On the gentleman's motion that Senate Bill 475 be withdrawn from the calendar and recommitted to the Rules Committee. Is there objection? Hearing none, is so ordered. Members, if you can we put our pages up on the board just to remind everyone? We're going to take, before we break, well, we will break for lunch, but we will be taking page photos during the lunch break. So I'll invite you members that have pages today to join me up here for page photos. Let's have some announcements now. Chairman Parrish. Chairman Parrish is recognized for an announcement, I think.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to ask the members of the Rules Committee to meet me in room 341 at 1:30. 1:30 in room 341. Thank you.
Chairman Williams, recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. There'll be a majority caucus lunch for immediately upon a lunch break. Majority caucus lunch in room 403.
Representative Park Cannon, Representative Bell. Thought they had an announcement. Okay. I'm getting kind of lunchy. I don't know about y'all. So this House will be in recess until 1:45 p.m., and then we'll come back and get to work. This House will stand in recess until 1:45.